Hi, and welcome to Lesson 4 of Building a Basic Website. In Lesson 3, you learn the basics of HTML, what a tag is, what an attribute is, and what an element is, and you also learn some of the most basic tags. In this lesson, we're going to get organized, and we're going to talk about how to structure your HTML5 pages. First, let's talk a bit more about how HTML5, and indeed all HTML, works. Every tag is either what's called a block element or an inline element. Block elements are what they sound like, tags that can be styled as building blocks of information, and as your computer understands them, they go from top to bottom. Inline elements are, well, inline. The tag to make text italics, EM, is a good inline example, since it does its duty within a single line of a block element, like a paragraph. If you structure your pages as we're about to do, you shouldn't have to worry too much about which elements are block and which are inline. If it's relevant to know, I'll be sure to point it out to you in the lesson. So how should you use HTML to structure your page? It's straightforward if you think about two concepts. First, remember the way HTML works is as a nesting language, meaning tags can surround other tags. Second, think about what you can surround with a structural tag on your page that logically belongs together. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at the Hampshire College website, which is just down the road from UMass. It makes sense that all the news and events would be grouped in one box. It makes sense that all these social media icons would be grouped in another. And it makes sense that the navigation would be together too. Now the header, what's in this green bar, has different elements, but it makes sense that they're together. The logo, the name of the college, the quick links, and the search bar. These are the tools that Hampshire College wants to give potential visitors. Almost all web pages have a header. As it turns out, one of the new HTML5 tags is header. You can use this tag more than once on a page, but for now let's think about it as the main header. Any website with multiple pages is going to have a navigation menu. These are often based on HTML lists, which you can learn more about below. Structurally, the tag to use for the main navigation is nav, N-A-V. Section, article, and aside are other grouping tags in HTML5. Even though HTML5 was designed to streamline the language in a useful way, unfortunately, how to use them isn't exactly intuitive. I've linked to the official explanation, but for our purposes, section is a good tag for an overall grouping of content on a page. If you have a repeating element like blog posts, you may want to use article. Aside is what it sounds like. It's a place for content that's tangential to your site, or the main content of your site. Footer is also an important HTML5 layout tag. It refers to the area at the bottom of the page that can be used for contact information, copyright information, additional links, and the like. We've gone top to bottom on HTML5 layout tags, but there's still two very important tags for you to learn. Those are the div tag and the span tag. Div stands for division, as in a division of your page, and this important tag lets you group together elements in a useful way. It's a block element, and by itself is invisible until we add some CSS. The inline cousin to a div is called a span, and it's a way to isolate, for example, 3 words out of a paragraph tag. All of those layout tags are fine as far as it goes, but they're not of much use to you unless you add 2 very important attributes. Those attributes are ID in some cases and class in other cases. Both can be named whatever you'd like. Although keep it one word, lowercase, and don't confuse yourself by naming them the same thing that tags are called. You can have lots of IDs on a page, but only one ID name per page. For example, if you have an ID called main content, that name, main content, can appear only once. But you can create an ID called main content 2. Classes can repeat with the same name. So if you know you want to highlight 5 different pieces of text 5 different times, you can create a class called blue text once, and then use it over and over again on the same page. The truth about HTML5 and all web design really is if it looks the way you want it to on the page, then you've done it right.